In this video, we will be replacing the EGR valve in this 2006 Dodge Grand Caravan. Through the driver's side door, we can pull the hood release latch. Taking a look inside the engine bay, we want to focus our attention on the passenger side towards the front. Located between the washer fluid reservoir and the engine oil dipstick, we have the location of our EGR valve. We can visibly see two 8mm bolts that will need to be removed, and then back behind the EGR valve we have two 10mm bolts. Because these bolts have been in here a long time, I will be applying some Amsoil metal protector to act as a penetrating oil to help loosen those bolts, and then we can remove those bolts. Now the lower screw is much more difficult to access with the alternator, so I'm using a 1/4-inch drive 10mm socket with a T-handle installed on there, and that does allow me to get around the alternator to get that bolt out. Now we are still hung up on our wiring harness, and so we need to depress the tab that is holding this connector together, and we can wiggle it just a little bit and that should pop right off, and our EGR valve should then be free. I always like to compare my existing part with my new part just to make sure that they look the same. We also have some new bolts as well as gaskets. Reinstallation is done in reverse of the removal procedures. I'm going to install my gasket and start the bolts to hold that gasket in place. I can then position it in the location, and I want to start the bolts by hand first, make sure that I'm not cross-threading them, and then we can finish up both of those with our ratchet. I was able to finish this up with a little 1/4-inch drive ratchet on both of those bolts. The next step is to install our other gasket and remaining two 8mm bolts. Make sure you're starting these by hand as well. And then we can finish those up with a ratchet as well. And then we can reconnect our wiring harness. Start the vehicle to make sure that everything sounds good, and take it for a test drive.